Okay, boys and girls, we're back with Old Man Yells at Cloud for my Blue Powder Monkeys Patreon, working on the Norwescon program in Affinity. I think I got everything there. All right, let me check my stream. Everything seems okay now. Cool. We're going to be listening to Steve Earle, who's a folk singer, kind of a protege of Townes Van Zandt and the Guy Clark era, though he's still around and those two guys aren't. He had I think one mainstream hit with, I can't remember what it was called. It was a song about like the Nam era. I'll know it if I hear it, if he sings it, but he's got a lot of good stuff. All right, crusty old guy that he is. Oh, hold on just a sec. Forgot my glove. Whoops, how about now? Can you hear me now? Okay, sorry about that. I walked upstairs with my glove yesterday and forgot to bring it back down. Um, and I use it I set my hand on this Cintiq tablet, basically. Um, so what I'm going to do here, we're going to do what's called a data merge. I think InDesign has something similar, but for whatever reason, I never used it in InDesign. But I super dig it in Affinity. It allows you to set up so we have a whole bunch of biographies, short biographies for people that are participating, panel pros. And in order to, normally I have to cut and paste them all in. Then you paste the photographs in and have to do text wrap and all this. And it's a whole thing. But with the data merge, you can set them all up in an Excel spreadsheet, which let me see if I can open up and show you here real quick. There's kind of confusing, there's a few things in the tutorials online that they don't cover, and hopefully I'll sort of be able to cover them here. But this is a spreadsheet that has the people that are participating with their biographies, and the biographies are all set up in one cell, basically. And then I have a folder with their pictures, and I have to do like a link to each of those. So that's that. And then, so this is kind of the weird part. A lot of the data merge tutorials online show it in a fresh document. And that's okay, except I don't have a quote unquote fresh document. I have a document with a whole bunch of other stuff in it that I want to add this data merge to. And that's where some problems can start. So I'm going to talk you through that part of it in case that you're using it the way that I'm using it as opposed to just creating a fresh new thing. So you basically kind of have your cell here and you grab right over here, data merge layout tool, and you create your, there we go, create your doodad here. And it's set up now, as you can see these little separators here. It's set up to do 2 on 2, which is right there, right? I want them to run down these lines, though they're not going to match with these lines because the biographies are too long. So we're going to go with 3 this way. And we're going to go ahead and keep it at 2 for now. Excuse me. And then I'm going to end up going in and editing them individually, and they'll become shorter and longer as that goes along. So you build what you want in one cell that propagates it to the other 5 cells. So I need a picture. So I grab my picture making tool. I do this. You can already see that it's propagating. I come down here because I want them to be, oh, I actually almost hit it. I want them to be 1.5. 1.502 would probably have been okay. But, there we go. Let's do 1.5 because I didn't turn on my little linky doodad there. There we go. Oh, and now it's doing that to me. So I'm going to go back up here. 0.5. There we go. And then do that. Okay. So now I have a 1.5, which is what I want. And I'm going to butt it up against here, which is also what I want. And it's going to automatically put their picture in here, which I'll show you how that is done. Then I need a name, and I've been having the name up here, and I think that's going to be okay. But I can always redo this later when I'm offline. So you grab a little text tool that you want. Do this kind of deal. All right. Maybe drag it out a little bit here. Okay, and then I want this to be one column. And it doesn't look like it's propagating here, but it is. So these are slightly off for some reason. So here, this whole time I wonder if I've been making these columns uneven. And that is a possibility. Yeah, okay. That seems lined up. And then I grab this little, I go back in, grab my picture frame. Yeah, there it is. Okay, and then this I want butted right up again. Actually, I can do this. Go here, and go here. Okay. So now I'm going to grab this text frame. I'm going to butt it right up against the picture. I'm going to expand it out to there. I'm going to make sure it has one column. I'm going to make sure it should automatically be doing baseline grid stuff, so that shouldn't bother me. And then I'm going to come down here and go heading 1. That's the way that I want the text done. So heading 1 is going to put it in the center. It's going to be that compacta standard I've been using, right? And so that's that part of it. Then I'm going to grab another text frame. Oop. Now normally I might make this 2 as well. Now I'm going to try something out. I think it's going to take away, it's going to override whatever style is in it with my pre-made styles. But my pre-made styles will erase all the italics or any of that kind of like formatting they've done. So I'm going to, for now, just do this. Whoops, I don't want no spacing. I want no style. There we go. And no style. There we go. So it'll bring it in at whatever the font is there, and then I will kind of like hand change the font. And this I'm going to leave at 1 column as well. And I'm going to make sure that we have a teensy little bit of give on either side, which is what this is for. And my normal spacing is 1.125, 12 and a half basically. But 12 and a half on either side is going to make a 1/4 inch. So I cut it down to half, so it'll still be what I want here. Okay, so then I'm in this, so I'm going to insert a field, and this is the biography field. So I have, I'll go through this thing by hand here. So I'm going to add a data file, and it's asking me over on this other page what file I want to use. So let me grab that and show you. So I want this ProMasters edit. That's basically what I'm using here. So I have now linked it to that. Now I want to insert a field. So if you remember in that spreadsheet, each of the columns were very clearly labeled, and bio is what I want in here, right? And so now it's giving me bio, which is awesome. And I want to go into here, and I want name. Did that work? Doesn't seem like it did. There we go. Okay, so let's try insert field name. Oh, I wonder if it's white text. That's probably what it is. So for now, I don't know if I'm going to do these lavender or change them up or whatever. Let's do that. Okay. So there's name. All right. And you can see it's propagated all those. Right. So then we're going to grab this picture frame. And the first thing I'm going to do before I forget is grab text wrap, show text wrap. It doesn't, you weren't able to, as far as I know, you weren't able to like link, have this being on all the time. Usually there'd be a little blue glow where I could drop it into one of these other menus, but it doesn't seem to want to do that. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to make sure to the right it's text wrapped, because the baseline that I set up will mean that it'll automatically kind of go below the picture or whatever. So that'll all be fine. So that's now text wrapped. And then we're going to bind the field to the picture. There. See? Pretty easy. Now, here is the interesting bit. This stupid advanced data tool repeat, or it might not even be that, but it's this repeat thing. Repeat all pages basically is going to grab every single page that is in this book and duplicate it every time it creates. Oh, my table went down. Stop. Back up. There we go. It's basically going to duplicate the entire document every time it makes a single page of this. And I don't want that. I'm not even sure why that's an option. I'm not sure who would want that. So what you have to do is come over here and set page range, which this is page 58. So I want it to duplicate page 58 to page 58, which I don't even know why that makes sense. It's not going to duplicate this page. It's just going to do it the way, well, I should check, but it's going to do it the way that it's supposed to. Anyway, and then we're going to generate bulk. All right, is data source adapted? Would you like to update it? It always says this for some reason, even though I've saved that file. So we'll do that. And then we wait. If I had this set to all pages, this would take like 10 minutes, because it would basically be duplicating again the whole document, and then it would hit me with like a 900 page fucking document or whatever. What it's going to do is it's going to create a separate document, which then will become my master document. Boom. Okay. So now I have this untitled document. So in here, you can see that it's still kind of doing this, but that's it, right? And then this is still the document kind of thing. But now you can see that it's thrown in all this stuff. So we're clear down at the bottom with Wolfcat, who's the end of the alphabet. And we go clear up here to I can't even read that, AI Kaplan. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. It's so AL Kaplan, yeah, AL Kaplan. So we look, we see she's the first. She's not here. She's not here. She's not here. She's not here. So it's basically done the thing that it's supposed to do. It's added this entire section. See all these people. Clear down to the bottom. And boom, right? Now, one thing I noticed is I didn't pull my text document or my text field down low enough. I had it stopped right here, right? Unfortunately, I can't go back into this and adjust it here. So if I do this and refresh or whatever, it's not going to matter. This is still going to be like that. So this can be edited individually, but if you want to make global kind of changes, you got to just redo it. So unfortunately, I got to close this down, go back to here, see that I've done that. I've done all the rest of that then and generate again. So you can add people after the fact as well into your spreadsheet, but you'd have to generate another document. And normally you have everything set up exactly the way you want it. It's used a lot for the examples online are like badges a lot of times. And so the badge would have like a very limited amount of thing and everything would fit in here. These bios are, I think, 300 words or maybe 500 words, whatever they are. But some are shorter. They aren't all that. Hopefully none of them are longer, but they may be as well. So what that's going to run into is I'm going to have to come in here and individually pull these longer, basically. There's also some trouble with some text wrap where like this word is too long to fit in there, so I'm going to have to figure that out too. So it's not a perfect solution. Honestly, what I should probably do is make these half to try to fit everybody's in there and then shrink them up when people have less, because shrinking things up is going to be easier to manage than pushing things away. So let's try that. All right. So let's turn our main data merge layout. Oop. I don't get my little doodads up here at all. I might have to redo the thing from scratch. Yeah, that's fine. All right. So you're learning along with me in this case. Let's do this. So it's not a perfect tool. So now we're back to this original four banger that I had going, and it seems like that's probably the way to do it. More than four will definitely fit on here, though. So let's just try it there because we're there, or we're having fun right now, kind of experimenting. So, oops, let's do this. Move this over to here. Okay, cool. Let's put our text wrap on it before we forget. Okay, then let's grab a text field here. Oh, I kind of accidentally lined that up perfectly. Let's turn this into heading 1. Let's make sure the color is dark red like I wanted. Okay. Let's insert the field now while we're thinking about it. That's going to be name. Okay, so name is good. Let's bind the picture here. Okay, and then let's grab another. There we go. Let's move up to here. I feel like this, excuse me, I feel like this line length is too long, but it's probably fine. All right, let's see. We got one column. We got a gutter, and we have all of that in the bottom at, we'll make make that 0.606. I don't think the bottom will matter, but just in case, we'll do that too. And leave the top at 0 and see what that does. Because it's going to be broken up by the leading. It's preset. So no style, no style. Okay. And then we'll get into here. Is that right? Nope, that's heading 1, so we don't want that. We want no style. No style. Okay, we're good. And we're going to insert the bio field there. Cool. We're going to make this a different color for fun. Actually, let's make this the darker. And let's make this the lighter. There we go. So that looks okay. For now, anyway. All right, and we have the field inserted, so we have the 5858, so boom. Boom. All right. Yeah, see, well, now there's nice long gaps here, so I'll be able to drag stuff up and do all kinds of better things. Squeeze things up here. And it looks like there are a couple that are too long, like Lizzie Hill. Doesn't look like it retained. Actually, can't tell. Doesn't look like it retained italics and whatnot either, which is kind of annoying. Yeah. Okay. And this can be higher as well. So anyway, that's basically the idea of the data merge. What I'm going to do now, because you don't need to sit here and watch over and over again. And basically what I can do is I can come in and I can like individually edit this stuff however I want, right? I can change the color or change the font or do whatever. So I'm going to mess around with it a little bit more, move the text up to save space and all the rest of that. And then at some point in the next day or two, we'll open this thing back up and I may be able to do a search and replace as well. So I could, if I want to make this text larger, right, I can kind of do this and then do a search and replace it with a larger font or whatever. But I now have to do a bunch of weird little things, like I'm going to go back to the spreadsheet and see if there's italics built into the spreadsheet already. And if there is, see if there's a way I can bring that in and retain it. And then I have to be aware I need to knock the line down maybe a little bit here. And that's all just noodly stuff. So that's basically the idea between a text merge. Really good for badges and things that have the same amount of words and same sort of static thing. Not as good with this, but still better than flowing all of this in and then having to come through and hand do those, plug in a photograph on each one and all that kind of stuff. So there you go. Anyway, we'll see you again in the next day or two where we will have, probably Wednesday or Thursday, where we will have made progress.